Hi, so let's talk about bulletproof coffee. I'm actually pretty convinced that most of you have heard of what bulletproof coffee is, but perhaps it might be worth breaking down exactly how it's made, or at least how I've been shown how to make it, and what benefits there might be for endurance athletes of switching this into your diet in the morning as a start to the day. So I was shown how to make this by Pauline and Gaz at Sow and Arrow, who are a company that I worked for, making some promo videos, and they kind of made me some bulletproof coffee and talked to me about the benefits of making it. Now essentially, the basis of it is pretty straightforward. If you're on a fasting diet, which I do a 16/8 fast, when I get up in the morning, I used to have a black coffee, which was okay. It was really just to break the monotony. But in all honesty, I do find black coffee pretty bitter, and I'm not really a big fan of it. I also drink decaf. I don't have caffeine in any of my drinks, so having a decaf black coffee in the morning wasn't the most enjoyable part of my day. I really do enjoy the taste, the creaminess, and the texture of having coffee with milk in it, and I did miss that. The trouble with putting milk in your coffee is the fact that it's not the calories that break your fast, it's the spike of the insulin that you get from sugar in some things that you might eat or drink. And obviously milk has lactose in it, which is a sugar which is what spikes your insulin and breaks your fast. So bulletproof coffee is simply coffee made with butter instead of milk. So just putting a small amount of butter or a large amount of butter, depending on what you want to do. I mean, obviously most people change the amount of milk they have in their coffee to dependent on taste. In a blender with your ready-made coffee, with your black cafetiere coffee, we'll blend it up and make you a really nice creamy latte, which is enough for most people. But I also add an extra couple of ingredients into this. I add a little bit of Himalayan rock salt, but I also add some MCT oil and some collagen. So I'm not a food scientist. My friend Pauline is the one that has the degree and the masters in food science, and she's the one that's told me all about what collagen is and how it works. So there is limited research into collagen. I'm not some kind of convert hippie person that's going to be trying to sell you some snake oil or something. I'm putting it in because really the research that I've looked into shows it does no harm, and there is some basic preliminary research that for endurance athletes, this protein, which is what collagen is, it's the most abundant protein that's in our connective tissue, may aid recovery for endurance athletes. So I add a small amount of MCT oil, about a capful, into my coffee as well. MCT is a medium chain triglyceride, which is a fat source, which is really easy for the body to use as an energy source, but it also turns it into ketones. Once again, I'll put a link in the description to some research that indicates what these things might do for an endurance athlete. But from my perspective as somebody that's trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment, it kind of does two things that are really useful for us as endurance athletes. In my position I'm in at the moment, it promotes weight loss, and there are loads of ways it does that. Again, I'll put links in the description below. But also aids fat oxidization. So for an endurance athlete, improved fat oxidization is really useful because fat is an abundant source of fuel in our bodies, and if we can improve how well our body burns fat as an energy source before it goes into our very limited resources of glycogen, then we can actually go longer in terms of our races, and possibly faster at that point if we can raise that point that we actually switch to burning glycogen. So those added elements of collagen and MCT oil, whilst there's only preliminary research in that at the moment, I'm sure there'll be more as years go by. The most important thing about those is that there's a possible benefit to having them. There's something that I'm putting in my coffee, and either don't change the taste or make it taste nice, but the most important thing is that they don't do any harm. So that's how I make my bulletproof coffee in the morning. It's as simple as that. The most important thing is it tastes really good. It really fills me up, makes me feel really full until lunchtime, when I have a small meal of some meat and some vegetables, and then in the evening I do the same thing and have a slightly larger meat and veg meal, and that's me done. I'm full, I'm powered for the day, and as it stands at the minute, I'm kind of a week into, a week and a half into pretty much having this every morning, and I'm enjoying it each morning. I'm really looking forward to making it. Kind of is a little bit of a routine that I know people enjoy, kind of making their coffee in the morning, and I'm certainly enjoying doing this so far. It's not something I'm going to change in a hurry. Cheers.